chief of staff and envoy to Latin America, who was pushing the free trade agenda in Latin America, and Kissinger, who doesn't even need an introduction. His ties to the coup in Chile in 1973 are well known. And so it's disturbing that there's this history of abuses in Central America throughout the 20th century with Chiquita and the fruit companies, which continues to this day.
And then you have, well, we played Lonnie Davis's testimony before Congress. Lonnie Davis, who we were speaking to Ken Silverstein about last week, the superb investigative reporter, about his representing the Chamber of Commerce, which is very much on the side of the coup regime right now. Lonnie Davis is the former White House counsel for President Clinton.
Right, and there's these circle of Clintonites that are still around, and as I mentioned before, you have Mac McLarty, who's now associated with a law firm which is defending Chiquita. Also, as I point out in my recent article, you have the current Attorney General, Eric Holder, who was also Deputy Attorney General under Clinton, who defended Chiquita and its actions in Colombia when Chiquita was allied to right-wing paramilitary death squads in the 1990s, was found guilty of paying off paramilitaries. And Eric Holder, the current Attorney General, who was also in the Clinton administration, was the lead counsel for Chiquita.
And explain the significance of what he was representing Chiquita around. I mean, we know the story of the Cincinnati Enquirer that did this remarkable expose of Chiquita, which they were forced to apologize for, not because they were wrong, but because the reporter had gotten access to voicemail system within Chiquita. And they said that it was illegal how he had gained access to that voicemail system, but what he exposed was quite astounding.
Right. Well, Chiquita claimed that it was merely paying protection money to the paramilitaries in Colombia, but the victims of the paramilitary violence in Colombia claim otherwise. They say that Chiquita was engaged in this systematic campaign to control banana production in Colombia and terrorize the population. And Chiquita was the only company in U.S. history to be found guilty of paying bribes to a terrorist organization as defined by the United States. Eric Holder was the lead counsel defending Chiquita. He's the top justice official in the United States with ties to this fruit company that was complicit in right-wing paramilitary violence.
So the latest right now, the developments of the EU dropping support for Honduras, the talks with Oscar Arias breaking down, though the elected president, Zelaya, has fully accepted what he proposed. The coup regime has said no. What's going to happen? Oscar Arias said there could be a civil war, the president of Costa Rica and Nobel Prize winner.
Well, I don't see how this is going to be resolved, because he's already tried to come back militarily. I mean, not militarily, but force his way back into the country. And I think the problem is that, up until recently, Honduras was had very traditional right-wing politics, was one of the most reliable countries, most compliant regimes in Central America towards the United States. And now you see the resurgence of these right-wing forces. And so there is these vibrant social movements in Honduras, for example, the Garifuna people, the Afro-Honduran, the indigenous people, and labor. But I think perhaps this could be the resurgence of these right-wing forces that really haven't gone away. That it seemed for a while that we had the pink tide from South America, the rise of the left spreading into Central America. This could be perhaps a disturbing sign that those old retrograde forces are now trying to prove that they can stage a comeback, and I think that's disturbing for other countries that are, say, allied to Venezuela, such as small nations in the Caribbean, and this could be a very disturbing message to other countries that are following and trying to cultivate ties to Venezuela.
Nicholas Gonzalez, I want to thank you for being with us.